So, Mark, did you see all of the Cybertruck police cars? They've arrived. They're going on patrol now. They said they were only for display. Now they're going on patrol. The future is now.
I want to know where the cyborg is. Where's my RoboCop? Because this RoboCop told the future in Vegas. We knew it. We should have paid attention. But this looks exactly like it's out of the movie.
Feels very dystopian, but I guess that's perfect for Vegas.
Fallout, New Vegas.
Season 2 on Amazon coming soon. Well, the day we have been waiting for has long arrived. The Four Queens, their North Tower renovations have been completed. Shelley Berkeley was on hand to cut the ribbon. We saw some pictures inside the rooms. Dare I even say on their website, they have a picture of the state-of-the-art shower system.
I love that in Vegas, everything gets a ribbon cutting. I think it's the most fun, kitschy thing about Vegas that they do this every single time something opens, no matter how big or small. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and the mayor gets to go there. So, I mean, it's not, I went Dick's Last Resort at Indianapolis a few years ago. The mayor was there. Like, you're right. We do it for these little things, and then the mayor's there. But Four Queens, a historic property, and this is their big renovation. They're the soundproofing. The rooms are brought up to code. Remember, no resort fees there at all either, and that's a great thing as well. So, state-of-the-art showers, no resort fees, less sound coming from Fremont Street.
State-of-the-art 2008.
Come on, it's cool. It looks nice. I want to try one of these shower systems.
I think they did a nice a job with the rooms, the standard rooms. I mean, for a budget hotel, it looks nice. It looks decent. I don't know if I love the design colors. The curtains are a bit bright. Overall, they did a good job. That suite looks really, really cool. I would stay there 100%. I think the suite looks amazing, and they did a really awesome job with that one.
And shout out to them. If they had never put state-of-the-art shower system in their marketing on social media, I would not have talked about this tower nearly as much, but it brought so much excitement, and I'm very happy for an independent property, no resort fees. They're dying on that hill. Go support them and their brand new rooms. The rooms are pretty, but the GM, his video, all these outtakes, not doing so well.
No, he's fun, and I think he's the perfect fit for that property. But what I love most about this video is, did you notice the phone on the belt clip? Did you see that?
I did not.
Oh my gosh. It's like the perfect thing for Four Queens, perfect thing for him. I haven't seen a phone on a belt clip since 2004 when my dad had a Nokia flip phone. It's awesome.
You weren't paying attention when we did our pizza video because the person we were filming with had one. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, classic Dave.
Staying downtown, I was inspired by this tweet from Vegas to Cali. She said, in 2007, the price of a room at Binion's was $50. In March 2025, I paid $49 with no resort fee for a room there. Las Vegas is still the best value destination compared to anywhere you travel. And I thought, well, that's a cheap rate. Obviously, $50 now is great. But that reminded me of a conversation that Adam from El Cortez was having on a Vegas Matt video, saying that it costs them around $60 to service a room, kind of talking about inflation and how that's affected comps. It's more expensive for the room, so they're going to offer, you have to gamble more in order to get comps, those sorts of things. And I just thought it was an interesting discussion.
Yeah, and I think that's they're a loss leader. Rooms are a loss leader for a lot of these low-end casinos where they're offering them for $25, $30 a night, especially if you have a player's card and you're getting a waived resort fee. Now, the resort fee maybe makes it so that they can at least cover their cost of cleaning at one, and then the electricity, the water, all the other stuff you use in there. But it's a break even at best a lot of times in these mid-tier, lower mid-tier and down properties. You have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. And I think it also shows, you wrote this article maybe 10 years ago now. Let's look at the cost of rooms before resort fees, and let's look at the cost of rooms with resort fees. And they were basically the same. They had just broken it out into a different chunk, so they got to keep more of that profit versus an Expedia or something booking the room direct. And I think for mid-tier and below, the rooms have stayed kind of steady over this time frame, which is crazy as all other costs increase, but they want you in the door and they want you spending money elsewhere.
When they're deciding whether you're going to get a free room, let's say you're a low roller, now you probably have to gamble more because maybe it cost them $20 to service the room before, and maybe it's 40 now. He said 60, but he wasn't so sure about that exact number. Like, he didn't know it specifically, but if it's twice as much to clean a room or just to service the room, then you're going to have to gamble more. And that's just sort of the way it is. But I think you're right. Hotels have stayed a great value depending on the day, right? And the weekend and all of that sort of stuff in Vegas. The other takeaway from that conversation, this is nothing to do with Binions, with El Cortez, is he said, Adam, 10 years ago, they were 70% locals, 30% tourists. And a lot of us know what El Cortez was 10 years ago. Now they're 70% tourists, 30% locals. And that is purely the influencer, slot influencer effect. But kind of shows you how a property so old as that, with whatever reputation it had, can change everything overnight in this new era.
I think influencer has a big thing to do with that. I don't think a lot of people coming to visit would know about El Cortez. Locals would, of course, but I don't think travelers would. It's not even in the Fremont Street experience. And that walk between Fremont Street and there was not the best 10, 15 years ago either. So you had that to deal with, and the property was old. And they've put a lot of money into refreshing it. And maybe that start happened because of this change from the influencers, but I think that they definitely have reimagined that property, and it shows that, you know, nothing's too old. Tropicana could have survived, Sean, if they just would have put some money into it and paid the influencers.
Kenny Epstein, why didn't you buy Tropicana? What are you doing? I love those Adam question and answer things on Vegas Mad Chat, because you learn he does answer some really cool stuff that you don't hear elsewhere. But we got to talk about this Hallow Scream Con and Hallow Scream Fest that are coming next year, October 1st to the 4th. This is going to be a convention center for one of them, but then there's going to be Halloween activations all over the city. And this organizer, she's ambitious. We'll talk in a minute about how ambitious she is.
More like
but
crazy.
This sounds like a good time. She's crazy.
Yeah, well, on the stuff we're going to talk about next, yes. But no, I think that this is a really good idea. I don't know why they haven't had something like it before, and maybe Area 15 bringing in the horror unleashed, you know, plays into this a bit. Halloween's always been pretty big around Vegas, and there's always been a lot of stuff going on. But I think this is the perfect fit. I think it's really cool. If they pull it off, I think it sounds awesome, and they can grow it each year. And I think it'll be something that people look forward to coming back for.
Yeah, they said there'll be over 20 theme zones, including the Dark Carnival Scareground, film and TV centered Final Cut, Shriek Easy Secret Bar. That's a nice little play on Speakeasy there. The Auditorium Bazaar of the Bazaar, an art and animation zone, sports centric end zone, Wicked After Hours Playground for adults, more live music, more live bands. So an adult kind of centric Halloween event that is at the convention center, also at Luxor, also at Area 15 and elsewhere. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't think that she's done this before anywhere else, and very ambitious plans.
You know the one thing it's missing?
Pirates.
No, cuddle puddles.
Okay. Well, you're right. They didn't mention the cuddle puddles that we talked about on the last show, but she did mention pirates, and she makes a claim that the pirates are returning to TI for one day only next October for this event, and that's going to happen, that she's going to bring back the battle. She says that that's agreed to already in the Review Journal. Now, first off, we know that the ship can't sail like it used to sail. That can't happen. But I guess you could put on a show there and still do that. I don't know how the pyrotechnics would work, but also bring back the Masquerade in the Sky at Rio. But they want to bring back the moat at Excalibur. I think that's pretty sandy these days.
Yeah, this is just like we might as well have an AI created amusement park happening too, because this is so far-fetched and out there. You're not getting MGM to spend money on any of this. Come on. And it would cost so much to retrofit everything they've done. I could see maybe Rio pulling it off. That would be one that I could see. And then TI, it's going to be some small kitschy thing if they do it, because they're not going to fill everything back up and do all the same stunts and everything that they done before. And it's only for one day. I was so excited when I first read this, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's coming back. And then I saw it was for one day. And then I saw that, oh, we're going to do this with MGM and that too. I'm like, who is this person?
That's what I want to know. I want to meet her. It's like incredible. Think about, you talk about a dreamer, and you dream, and according to this,
she's going to recreate the volcano and put it in the middle of the strip for one day only too, Sean. You just missed that.
I think that Paramount Mountain, baby, we got to bring that back. Johnny Katz wrote all this up. He had a conversation. He covered all of this. This is in the Review Journal. I think he reached out to Rio, and Patrick Miller said they hadn't had any discussions yet, but they love good ideas.
Yeah, but, that's how you know this is all just smoke and mirror. When the CEO is like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to do it. Why wouldn't you bring back at Rio? If they have, let's say they're not in the greatest condition, but if you can somehow get them out there and do something with it for one day, and it makes sense. I think that would be good. I mean, don't we like big dreamers in Las Vegas? This is a big dreamer right here.
We do. And I think it would be cool if we get this. I just wish it was for more than one day. I think it'd be better if it was like just on weekends or something. I don't see them putting all this money into getting this revved up for one day, especially when you're not charging anything for it. It just seems kind of crazy and overly expensive, and it doesn't drive people into the casino. Where at least at Rio, that would drive people into the casino to see it, and they probably need that anyway. So I hope that's the one that I think is most realistic. That's the one that I think that they should do and probably be the most cost effective and beneficial long term.
So moving on, there's a new museum in town, one I hadn't heard of, just off the strip, the DJ Museum. It's off of Maryland Parkway, so just a little bit off the strip. It looks pretty cool, though. It's kind of owned by DJs, and you can do private DJ tours with some of these big names and the history of the art and all of that. I just stumbled across this. I thought it another one of those interesting Vegas museums that's outside of the strip corridor.
Yeah, it seems like 2025 is the year of the museum, doesn't it? In Vegas.
Yeah, we have the punk rock. We got a lot of these style of museums too.
Evil Knievel, wasn't there? Didn't we talk about that? Evil Knievel one or something like that too?
Yeah, the Evil Knievel Museum is moving here. No date yet. We haven't heard much about that.
But it's just kind of crazy that we've had all these pop up, and then you went to the Mob Museum, which was awesome, and we would talk about the Neon Museum all the time. So Vegas is the place to get your culture on now. But I think this will be really interesting to people that are big into the DJ scene or just into music overall in general to see the history of it and walk through it and check it out. And hey, it's cheaper than the Sports Hall of Fame Tom Brady Museum.
Yeah, your favorite museum. We forgot about that. So good stuff. Good museums here. Yeah, we're getting the whole Elaine Wynn art collection coming downtown. Atomic Museum is another cool museum. A lot of crazy, quirky things that are just outside of what you would expect here. So good culture. Vegas and culture, they go together like fine wine.
Cuddle and puddle.
As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our weekly after show. Lots of fun. Mark discussing cuddle puddles, all of other things we can't say here on YouTube. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all the information. And thanks to everybody who supports us over there.
I always remember to say have a good weekend there, though.
So is there trouble at Ellis Island? I'm terrible. I have not been over to their expansion, but I've noticed some rumblings that it's noisy in there. Vital Vegas seemed to agree with this tweet that was talking about just how loud the new area is over by the bar. The fun tip is that if you go to the old barbecue area, apparently that's the quietest area and there's slots in there. But I guess if you have to run away from the noise, that's probably not a good thing.
That's the trouble whenever you redesign something. I mean, I'm sure that they take that into account, but it's hard to really know what it's going to be like until you get in there and fill it up and see how it goes. And that is something that is weird. It does happen, and there's probably ways to design around this, but there will be restaurants you go into that are overly loud. You can't hear anybody even when there's not a ton of people. And then you go to another one that's completely packed and it doesn't seem overly loud. So they kind of missed it there, it seems like, and hopefully they can figure out a way to dampen it down a bit. But he said that he couldn't even watch the game and went and ate in the lobby, which looked really depressing.
Yeah, that reminds you of the motel lobby right there. That was a very stark difference. I was just thinking, you spend millions and millions of dollars on this, and exactly to your point, what if this just ruins the whole vibe of the place because it's too loud? That would be very bad. And yes, I guess I should get over there to check it out. But I do not like loud places, so this would not be my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, bring back the dancing dealers and all that stuff. They have lost as they've added things, and I love what they did with the front yard and everything like that. I think it's beautiful, but they have kind of matured out of what it used to be, and the people that loved it for a long time probably don't love it as much, and that's sad to see. But this is what we talk about with El Cortez. Maybe they're looking to kind of go a different route, and we'll have to see how it works for them.
Also going a different route, our buddy Criss Angel. So Criss Angel has no shows on the books at Planet Hollywood in 2026. I think the last show is December 30th.
All sold out.
All sold out. We don't know what's going on. He's expected to release dates for 2026 for his show. But welcome to our nightmare. He came out with this. Him and Alice Cooper are doing a 2-night thing, March 6th and 7th, a limited engagement at Planet Hollywood. It seems like it's this whole theatrical magic mixed in with Alice Cooper's songs. They did a whole promotional video for it. It seems like they put a lot of effort into this show for 2 nights.
Yeah, we need a, while I'm talking, how about you look up, we need a Lambo update. Has he sold it yet? Maybe that he needs that to do the shows. I don't know. But no, I thought that, yeah, like you said, this is a lot going on. And maybe they're trying to pull the Backstreet Boys type of thing where you announce so many shows and then you hope it does well and you bring back more, because it looked like they put on like the whole show just for the filming of the promo. Kind of fun, something different. I give them credit for that. And like a concert and a magic show happening at the same time. I don't know if you know this. Alice Cooper is like an amazing golfer. He put on a show when I was working at a golf course in college and came and golfed with our pro and gave our pro all he could handle, like a scratch golfer. And I think he even says that's like when he gave up drinking, he kind of leaned into golf and golf kept him from drinking. So he golfs 5-6 times a week, stuff like that. Super nice guy and can really hit it out there on the course.
77 years old. Kudos to him for trying this. Kudos to Criss Angel for trying something new. So here is our update on the Criss Angel garage sale. First off, they have a new banner at the top. It says Criss Angel Studios exclusive sale. Get 50% off, all prices slashed. And then it says select items, 50% off select items. The Lambo's still 70 grand though.
All prices slashed on select items. We give you 100% of the time, 50% of the time. No. No, somebody that's watching, go buy that Lambo so he can do his show in 2026. We can get dates. Until the Lambo is sold, there will be no dates released.
This is a beautiful banner. I just want to say I'm loving this whole sale. It really leans into the whole garage sale vibe.
No, I think it's kind of fun that he has all the stuff up there and it's up there long term. And hey, I'm going to be very excited the day that we go check on it and there is no Lambo for sale. It would be a good day.
So let's move over to the Palms, and Palms, known as some of the nicer suites, more unique suites in Vegas. They tweeted this out, 4 suites. Which one do you choose?
I mean, you got to pick the bowling one, right?
Yeah, it's the sexiest by far of all of these. The basketball one, not only is it weird to have the beds laid out like that, but just the black and white doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, and like I'm guessing they fold up or whatever, but you get tired playing basketball after like 15 minutes when you're our age. You could bowl with a group of friends all night. I think that's the one I would go with for sure.
Yeah, I also think the decor in there is the coolest with the different colors. And I mean, there's also the pink one. I don't know what they call that suite, but it's more feminine, which is cool. And
want to be Vanderpump? Yeah.
Yeah. And they have the suites with the pools off the side and all of that. But that classic bowling alley suite, and it's looked different over the years. They've redone that suite so many times, but it just delivered. I've never been in it. I'd love to go.
How much do you think I'd get charged if I stole that Woody Harrelson painting? Because it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know, but it is an awesome painting. Is that Woody Harrelson in the bowling alley?
Yeah, it's from Kingpin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed
At least that's what I assume. Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
Okay.
But
there we go. Add it to the list. 100,000 subs when we get there. That might be one of the things we have to do.
Hopefully they'll put a discount on it like Criss Angel does.
50% off sometimes.
But we got to talk about the serious stuff, Mark. We have to talk the numbers. So we do have the numbers for gaming, for the airport, for the hotels, for all of it. And September did not look very good. Here's some high level stuff. Airport passengers down 6.4%. Clark County gaming down 2.89%, Strip gaming down 5.48%, visitors down 8.8%, occupancy down 5.2%, and revenue per available room down 9%. So on the last couple of months, we had a situation where the gaming revenue was actually up despite visitors being down. That's not the case this time.
Yeah, we didn't have a big Baccarat player coming in and losing a whole bunch so they could make up for it. But no, the RevPAR being down 9%, that one's probably the biggest number to pay attention to, I think. And I think that's definitely hurting them. Did you notice my beloved Laughlin's up, though?
Yeah, you just go right to Laughlin. We might as well just do Laughlin every month because you go right to Laughlin. Yes, it's up 5.76%. And I think that's been the case, right? The last couple of times we've looked at it. Laughlin has been doing pretty good. Downtown down about 2% on the win-loss. And you're right, Baccarat was a big difference. That was a big difference maker for why they're not doing as well this month compared to last month where they had big Baccarat wins. And it's interesting when you look at the overall numbers, just how much Baccarat is of that. It's basically behind Blackjack. It is the most popular card game in the casino.
I mean, that's where a lot of big money players go and they play. So it's not too surprising to me. But in the U.S., I don't think it's as big as it is internationally. So we always think blackjack and then we think craps and then maybe Baccarat. So it's interesting to see. And that I'm guessing that's driven a lot by international visitors. We should say overall for the year over year, it's still up, which is kind of surprising when all we've seen is negative numbers and negativity. To have it be up year over year is kind of impressive.
Yeah, I think it's up about 2% year over year. So yeah, the sky isn't falling. And I think the big question is if, let's say, these 8% losses in numbers are baked in, let's say they continue and this is the new normal, 8% less ish than it was before. How do these businesses adapt? How are they, going to do that? We've seen Caesar's stock take a huge hit this week. We didn't have time to talk about their earnings on this show, but Caesar's market cap is about $3 billion as a company. With all of the properties they have, that's sort of nuts. Can these companies absorb an 8% loss of business when they were factoring in higher loads? They can, and they will, but I don't know that that's the case. I mean, it'll be interesting to see next year, this time, where these numbers are. Are we going back to being up 10% over this, or are we continuing to decline?
I think the beginning of the year, the numbers were really high in 2025. So I'm guessing that they're going to look pretty bloody going into next year. So we'll have to see. Maybe the tail end of the year, they start to tick up compared to this year, since we see the dip now. But with them offering all these deals and pulling back, and MGM executive coming out and saying, "Oh, our prices are all messed up. We're going to fix that." Does that make it look even worse if you're not getting $12 for a coffee and you're only getting 6 or 7? Are you selling enough to make up the difference? Maybe you're selling more coffees and it works out on volume, but it'll be interesting to see if that plays into it. And then, of course, we know all the unions got contracts over the last year or two, and that's driven up costs of everything and then inflation overall. So even though the numbers might bear it out, I'm guessing the profit margin continues to shrink.
And one big question people have is international visitors. Are they not coming? And in September, it was a big difference, 13.3% to the negative for international passengers. And we're down a little over 3% for the year. And overall, domestic down 4.9% for the year. So less people are coming. This isn't a question of that. It's just, how does Vegas react within this? Like we said, lowering prices, deals. How does that affect the bottom line and the stocks? And then, bean counters cutting things. And a lot up in the air, I think, for Las Vegas, even if the executives want to portray that everything is great. I think they do realize that their whole business structure can't really absorb an 8 to 10% hit in visitors. So that, I feel like, is where we're at.
I will say that I bought the Wynn stock when we talked about the dip several months ago, and it's doing fairly well. So I'm okay with that.
There you go. You and Tillman Fertitta riding high on Wynn stock. Yeah. But yeah, the numbers are bad. I don't think there's anything else to say. We're not trying to gloss them. I think this is, month after month after month now of visitor declines is something that has to be acknowledged and dealt with.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if reinventing themselves a little bit behind the curve of what we would have liked to see helps them out. And that probably won't be for several months. We'll have to March, April, May, when it starts to pick up normally, we'll have to see if all these deals are continuing going on and if that has an effect, because I think they have to hammer that home several times for people to get over, "Oh no, you're going to price gouge me." Well, we're giving you a deal. No, when I get there, you'll probably price gouge me. I think they have to see this in the media over and over again before they finally accept, okay, maybe it's worth checking out to see if there are good deals.
Vegas cost PTSD. That's what you're describing. Vegas price PTSD is like, where are they going to get me from now? But you know what's going to fix all of it, Mark?
Cuddle puddles.
No, the Pirates, bringing back the Pirates for a day. That will fix all of it, I am sure. The Masquerade in the sky. I like dreamers, and we're dreaming big. So yeah, let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about today. Criss Angel and Alice Cooper, that whole Halloween con, the Buccaneer battle coming back for a day, the Masquerade in the sky. Of course, the numbers. Are you scared? Are you excited? Do you hate Las Vegas and you're just happy to see these numbers being so bad? Leave a comment. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple days with another show. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Have a good week, everybody. Apologies for last week.